First question.
Okay.
How do missionaries get paid?
Okay.
Like, there's 2 steps to this question.
Okay.
So where do missionaries get the money
okay.
to do missionary stuff?
Okay.
But then also, do they get paid like a salary
Okay.
on top of all of their expenses being paid by somebody else?
Right.
Or how's all that work?
Okay.
Like, how do they build wealth and pass it on to future generations of missionaries?
Well, okay. So,
right?
Yeah. They're not just building wealth. All right. Anyways. All right. Yeah. So again, I talked about this a little bit last week. So the historical kind of way that it's been done is that missionaries raise their own support. Okay. So in other words, people give to them and they're usually going through a mission agency. That's kind of what became like the norm within the 20th century missionary movement. Okay. Like where you just had individuals and they were going off into third world countries and they needed support from, usually individuals are leaving, America or Europe, going to third world countries. It was kind of the way it was being done in the 20th century. And so in most of the 20th century. And so therefore they were raising funds from friends, from church family members, or church members from family members, those kind of things. And they were generally joining a missionary organization. So,
So who pays the missionary organization?
Yeah. So that's where people would send their money to. Okay. So like people are sending money to Operation Mobilization or YWAM or,
what?
Youth with a Mission is what YWAM stands for.
Oh.
There's all these mission agencies, okay? And so it's that people are being sent through. So the denominations have their own mission agencies within the denomination, okay? So the Methodists had their mission agency, Southern Baptist and the Southern Baptist Convention have their own mission agency. And so that's where individuals are sending money to, they would designate for this person, right? And so that money would go toward that person. And usually there's some there's some like collaboration between the agency and the missionary and where they're going, what they're going to be doing in terms of how much funds do they receive for their livelihood, for their living expenses, and then how much funds are for actual like missionary quote unquote endeavors, if they needed supplies or whatever it may be for their mission work. And so
need more Bibles.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
In Swahili.
That could be a thing. And so
stat.
Right. And so you have all of that. So again, that's kind of like the historical way that it was happening throughout most of the 20th century. And then toward, I would say probably in the last, I don't know, really last like maybe 15 years or so, there's been a little bit of a shift away, not necessarily away from that, but maybe added on to that, of another model of where individuals go to other countries as missionaries, they work and to raise funds, and that's how they make their livelihood.
Okay.
Through the funds that are being raised. And then in some places you've got a combination of both, right? They're receiving funds from, they're raising support here in the States, or they're raising support in England, for example, wherever they may be from. They're raising support there, but then they're also working some job, there, but it may not be enough to support everything they're doing.
So the missions agency opens businesses so that people can actually work and have a job.
They can do that. They don't necessarily do that.
So do they bring work there in the form of other missionaries, or do they hire local people?
Okay, that's a great question. So you have a combination of both.
Okay.
Right. So in other words, the mission agencies, you're going through a mission agency, and so you're going to their field, in this country, right? And so that's what they call it. They're like their missionary field, right? So they're going to their field, they're going to their base, and you're going there to serve. Now, in some mission agencies, the people that are there in those bases, generally speaking, are locals.
Okay.
Okay. In others, they may not be. It may be a mix of locals and internationals. And then in some places, it's like almost all Westerners.
Okay. So if
or internationals broadly, because I want to make sure I say this, that, other countries now besides countries found in Europe or in, North America are sending missionaries as well.
Okay. So if I, under the guise of missionary, go open up a shop somewhere.
Okay.
Who gets the profits of said shop? Is it the people that sponsored me to initial
yeah, so if you're making
what?
Yeah. So if you're making money there, right? So let's say that you had
Is it my shop or is it whoever sponsored me to Missionary's shop?
I got you. No, it would be your shop in the sense of, because that's if you've established that, right? It's different than like a financial backing from, so let's say here in America, right? I started up a business. Okay, I'm going to have initial investors. The initial investors are going to get a percentage return back. Okay?
So all business could be under the guise of missionary and we could not pay taxes. Basically.
No, I mean
that's how we should set this up. We messed up. We shouldn't have been a whatever we did,
right?
And we should be a missions agency and not have to pay any taxes.
Yeah, that doesn't really work.
And
here.
then we could pay ourselves all the money.
Right, that doesn't really work here.
All the money that
right. Well, I don't. Yeah, that's not going to really fly.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it could though.
I mean,
I had to go downstairs.
Yeah, there.
all the way.
For Christ. And. Anyway, all right. So
I'm just confused.
I know
this is confusing.
So no, I say no. So in another. All right, you got me all thrown off too. All right, going into another country. Let's say that I'm my goal is to start up my own shop so that I can make my livelihood. People are going to financially give toward that without expecting a percentage back in return. Okay. So they'll give. Okay.
So now I keep all the profits,
and then
business.
Once it's up and running and can sustain itself, and you and your family, your livelihood, your ministry, that's there for you.
So it's more like I'm just connected to a church that knows I'm here doing this for this reason.
Correct. Yeah. Whether through your church or again, whether through the denominational mission agency or whether it's through a interdenominational mission agency.
Friends and family just helped me move to another country, essentially. And do exactly what I was doing in my home country, except there.
Yes, that can be one way to go about missions and having support. That way you don't have to raise as much continual support here in the States.
So the way it used to be, how did like some of these missionaries had kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
So were they not leaving anything down to their children?
No.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
No, I mean,
isn't that rude?
Well, I mean, basically, that's part of the sacrifice, right?
Yeah, but your kids are making a sacrifice.
Oh, 100% they are. Now,
but that's not fair to them.
Well, but the family the family signed up for it is the best way I can phrase that.
The whole family?
Yeah.
Including the baby?
Including the baby. They were signed up for it, right? Now, and obviously the baby didn't have a say-so, and the kids often don't have a say-so. But it's like, this is what
I don't know if you know, but this is personal.
I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I'm supposed to be speaking Spanish right now. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
And live in a hellhole.
Right. And I think that's, again, a lot.
And that's not me being racist. That's being anti-communist. Wink. It was Venezuela.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
And
or socialist or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, whatever they want to call themselves. Yeah. So I get it. And Yeah, the I mean, you're right, and I think that's kind of the thing. It's like, I mean, families they sacrifice to go down there to be supported, not have a great wage, of living, that kind of thing, but enough to sustain themselves to make it. And one of the challenging things is when missionaries come back home.
Okay.
Like, let's say their time in the mission field ends, they come back home after a decade, several decades, whatever it is, they come back home, and now they're having to kind of start from the ground up here. Now, some mission agencies actually make you take a percentage of what you get and put it into savings.
Oh.
So that you do have something on the backside, or that you can put in, into an IRA or whatever it may be.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And so there are agencies that do plan for those kind of things. Okay. To help the missionary on the other side of their mission service or in coming back. And so that's built in and there for some agencies, but not for all of them.
Okay.
And for a long time, missionaries just raised their funds, and man, they were just making with what they had, and there was no real plan for the future.
Okay, so how do you marry together the calling to be a missionary and make no money, build your wealth, and drag your whole family with you, with wanting to honor and do what's best for your family?
Yeah.
Like, why is bringing my children to some other country where they're not going to speak the language and know nothing at 13 years old or whenever we decide to do it?
Sure.
Why is like that's not good for the kid?
Maybe. Or it may be good for the kid.
Okay.
So I guess I've heard the stories both ways, right? Like, I've heard the stories of the missionary kids that are like, man, that was a disaster for us. Like, I hated being out of the country.
Right.
And then you hear the other stories of, that was incredible. That was awesome. And now, like, all of the kids are missionaries.
Okay.
Because they fell in love with it. And they don't want to, actually, I know some came back to the States to get their college education and could not wait to get back onto the mission field.
So why would God call somebody to do missionary work with children if he knows that the kids are going to hate it and have no choice in the matter?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question.
I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know if that's a lot of,
because it's not like the kids made this decision.
Right. But it's like, all right, and I get that, and I get the fact that, but that happens beyond just missionary world too, though, right? Like a military family that moves around, all the time. We may say, well, that's not fair to the kids, or you've got a job that just, dictates that you have to move around often because of the job, or even, hey, if it, for this promotion, you've got to go live in this other country. Like, that's part of it. So I don't know if, what I'm saying is, I don't know if it's unique to missionaries and their kids.
Right, but it's unique because God told them to.
Okay.
Instead of them making the decision to do it.
Right.
Right?
Or, yes, but I think oftentimes the parent would say, yeah, and I get what you're saying, like, that it may be a difference between, like, God calling, but I think there's a lot of individuals that I feel like God called me to be in the military, and therefore and I know what I'm signing up for when I do that,
Right.
And so all I'm saying is, I think it's not just unique to missionaries, but I do understand what you're saying, because especially from a kid's perspective, and I think maybe this is what you're getting to.
Right.
From a child's perspective, I can look at, for example, the military and be like, well, the government made us go live here or go live there.
Right.
Right. Whereas the missionary, it can be, man, God did this. Like, God made us go to this country and it was awful. Or, I had to leave all my friends and I didn't want to. I mean, those things are real.
Right. But it's like, I guess from an American's perspective, like, all of the opportunity to do things here.
Right.
And it's like, you're basically saying that my only future opportunities for the time being or getting to know, building anything for myself from 13 to 18 while I'm stuck in some country with you is being a missionary. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think most would say it's beyond just being a missionary or even just a missionary's kid. Like, there's a lot of individuals I've talked to that served on the mission field with their parents, and I'll say they served because they were there too, right? Like,
right.
with their parents on the mission field, and they had great experiences of getting to learn another language, of getting to, interact with people, and so some of them really, really do enjoy it. But I understand what you're saying. There are those that would say, no, that was it. I did not like it. I did not enjoy it.
It just seems like from the parent's perspective, like you're not setting your child up for success.
Okay. I guess I would say this. This is what I would say. If I really believe to the core of my being that I am following the will of the Lord,
okay,
I have to trust that the Lord is going to care, protect, and provide for my kids. Now, I know that it doesn't always look that way or seem to even happen always that way. I mean, like, calling it for what it is. But if I believe that core of my heart, I have to trust that they're going to take care of my kids. Like,
okay.
the Lord's going to take care of my kids. And that whatever the Lord intends for them in their future will be available to them. And maybe not in spite of what we're doing as missionaries, but maybe because of what we're doing as missionaries.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that was a good answer, I suppose.
I guess I just trust the Lord enough to be able to handle those things for the kids.
Okay.
Yeah. Says the pastor who
right.
does the same thing with his kids. Like when we've had to move churches or whatever. And you just trust the Lord is going to care for them.
Well, yeah, but sometimes you got to get a different job.
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean give up your job and your whole life and somewhere and
yep. All I'm saying is all I'm saying is though it's the same dynamic, because when I as a pastor change churches, often it's not just Joseph decided to change a church, it's I'm saying I felt like the Lord told me to go here.
Okay.
Right? And
well,
so the
respectfully, as your 13-year-old child, I feel like the Lord is not calling me to do that. So right. I'm going to live with Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah. And I think what I'm getting to is in both cases, it's like you're putting the Lord on the hook for it. From the kid's perspective, right? The kids are looking at it going, why did God make us move here?
Right.
Right. And I think that what I have discovered is that we have to trust the Lord over the long haul with our children, not just in those immediate moments or even immediate years, but what is it for the long haul that I trust that the Lord is working this out for their good as well.